My name is Mildred Chidosho, a lawyer at MMS Advocates LLP. This month we'll be taking you through the insolvency procedure while answering some of the questions that our clients have raised with regards to the same. In this video, I'll be taking you through the terminologies that are mostly used when we refer to insolvency.
Okay. What is insolvency?
Insolvency is the inability to pay your debts when they become due.
Okay. And how does insolvency apply to individuals?
Through bankruptcy. When you say a party is bankrupt, this is when the party is unable to pay their debts when they become due. Only the court of law can adjudge or rather declare someone to be bankrupt. The court needs to first satisfy that the individual is not able to pay their debts. Second, that the debt is unsecured. So once an application has been made in court and these two elements are satisfied, then the court can grant the order of that individual being bankrupt.
Okay. And how does insolvency apply to companies?
For companies that are unable to pay their debts when they become due, then according to the Insolvency Act, which is the main governing law of insolvency in the country, they have three options that they can rely on. The first option is liquidation, which is what was known as winding up, but now known as liquidation. So this simply means that the company closes business and exits market.
Okay. And what are the forms of liquidation?
Liquidation can take three forms. It can either be through members' voluntary liquidation, which simply means the members or the directors of the company, through a resolution, decide to have the company go through liquidation. The other option is the creditors' voluntary liquidation, which, as the name suggests, it is initiated by the creditors. The third option is by court order. Once an application to make a company go through liquidation is made in court, then the court, after satisfying the elements that are required, then the court can grant that order and have the company go through liquidation.
What is the second one?
So the second option that a company is unable to pay their debt they have is administration. Administration is an alternative to liquidation. It's also a new principle under the Insolvency Act. What administration does to a company, it gives a company a second chance to actually recollect itself and continue running its business. So what happens is if a company is unable to pay its debts and they make an application to court for it to go through administration, then an administrator will be appointed who would oversee the entire administration process and actually take over the control of the company and manage the assets of the company, with the main aim of only realizing and paying off debts of the creditors. So what I mean by this is that once the administrator realizes the assets of the company, pays off the debts to the creditors, then that means his duty is done. So once the company is back on its feet, then the company can continue running business. So we can actually say administration is a better option for companies to pick when they're facing these financial constraints.
Okay. And what is the third one?
So the third option that these companies have is the company voluntary arrangement. So as the name suggests, this is simply an agreement between the company, who is now is the debtor, and the creditors in place. Or rather, what the company can also do, the directors themselves, after assessing the books, their books of account, that is, they can, out of their own will, or rather voluntarily, decide to have an arrangement on how they are to pay off their debts to the creditors. So what they do is they come up with a proposal, approach the creditors on the proposal, have the proposal filed in court and be adopted in court as an agreement between the debtor and the creditors. Once this proposal has been accepted in court and it has actually been filed in court, then a supervisor, who should be an insolvency practitioner, is appointed by court to oversee and supervise this arrangement. In short, to just ensure that this arrangement is implemented as per the agreement.
Please tell us the difference between the options in the Insolvency Act and receivership.
Receivership is provided for under the English common law principle, which applies in Kenya. This is a right granted to a lender under debenture or a security document to appoint a receiver in case of default. I hope this video answers some of the questions that our client had raised. Thank you very much.